play. Picked up by Andre from 3/4 court, and he hit it! He had his eyes on the prize and let it fly!
What's going on, Tandemals? This is another edition of the Tanndemonium Sports Show here on the Vendetta Sports Media Podcasting Networks, broadcasting live exclusively on Twitch TV, twitch.tv/Vendetta Sports Media. With me, as always, is how do I even do it? I guess I should say the Devin Bush to my TJ Watt, Jackson Law. J Law, how the hell are you?
Doing good, man. My Fins got a win against the Patriots. I'm happy. I'm a happy man this week.
Same
and
here.
not only that, but my college team, the Arkansas Razorbacks, ranks 20th in the country after a massive beatdown of Texas.
The Razorbacks.
And listen, I know a lot of people are like, it's Texas. You guys are acting like you won the Super Bowl. First off, first time they've been ranked since 2016. This is also a rivalry that has been a thing since 1894.
Woo!
Okay, that's how long this rivalry goes back between Arkansas and Texas, and they put the smackdown on them, man. It was ugly.
Nice
it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Kansas doing something.
But yes, we'll take the 15-yard penalty every time we do this. Freaking Big 12.
And of course, joining us, our special guest, Kriegs Korner himself, Adam Krieger. Krieg, how the hell are you, my man?
I'm good. The Jets did not get a win, but I'm making my first Tanndemonium appearance, so it's a good week.
You know what? I got to check and see. I got to go to my Simbull account and see how my Sim Jets are doing after that. My Sim Jets are worth $44 right about now. So, hey, I'll take it.
Would you get them at?
$19.
It's funny you talk about Simbull because it's a big Simbull time with everything that's going on, football, college football, and them adding everything. But when we first partnered with them, like the Jets at $20 was like the cheapest team. Now you can't get it. They're the cheapest team, but they're at 45 or whatever they're at. It's maybe
I think there's like
maybe the Texans are below them.
Yeah, I think the Texans and the Lions are like the two cheapest teams that are below 40.
Exactly. And honestly, after this week, if the Lions didn't surpass them, I'd be surprised because they kind of bought in for Campbell, but that's a different story.
Campbell, baby.
But yeah, so
much caffeine and cocaine in that man's bloodstream.
Yeah, the Jets are currently sitting at 44-41. They're up 1.29% on the Simbull.
Wilson looked good. So
they started out at 16.29.
It's crazy.
This time last year, and they've only gone up, especially with their draft. Their draft is when they really started to balloon up.
Only two shares in the entire market. Golly.
Yeah, the cheapest college football team was still over $20. Like Arizona, they won 0 games last year, and
there's some leaderboard. I don't have Simbull up, but there's a leaderboard where you can see like how much money like people's accounts are worth. The number one account is like $38,000.
It is insane, and it's funny that we're going to really have a deep dive about them, but they sent a payout confirmation email to all their investors a while back, like proving that how they've been keeping up with all their dividends and making sure that this is all like as above board as possible. They got certified by a bank that they had X amount of money. And so it's probably why these people are having so much money in their accounts. It's insane.
Seriously. I kind of feel bad for Simbull if like folks just start like selling their shares all at once. But no, I'm going to keep my one share of the Jets, and I'm going to do what I can. Yeah, number one, the top account is $38,455. The second best is $20,635. Third is $13,416. My current ranking, 871 at $44. Yep.
Yeah.
High correlation. Yep.
Listen,
Day trading Simbull.
Hey man, this could be the future.
I've made some pretty good money. A lot of the early investments that I made in the NFL, they made me a lot of money, and it was almost too good to like sell them. There's like a lot of stocks that I wanted to hang on to.
I sold my Bengals. I bought them at 20 when we first partnered with them. It was literally maybe like 20 or like around that, and all of a sudden they ended up being like 45, and they ended up being at 60. I sold at 45 because they didn't understand how they had leaped over so many teams when the only thing they got was just Joe Burrow got healthy. I didn't understand that, so I got out, and I was an idiot because I got all the way up to 60, and they're still the fourth highest team somehow. But I mean, I guess it's just I'm still learning the market. I
had the Dolphins, the Panthers. I still have the Cardinals because I wanted to hang on to one, and I think I had one other team, and it was just they were like too good because I bought them all in the mid-20s. The Colts. I bought the Colts and the Panthers at the low 20s and sold them in the high 40s.
Dude, so the Bengals right now are the highest ranked Simbull team. $65.02. The Chiefs are behind 60 at 61.
I gotta pull up Simbull now.
Yeah, I have.
And the Browns are third at 60.71.
Which reminds me, I gotta collect too because the Cardinals. That's the one NFL franchise that I own right now. They got a dub.
When we first partnered with them, I put the 20 in, and we got the match. You can use your promo code Vendetta, $10 match.
Simbull.app, use our promo code Vendetta to get a $10 match on your very first deposit on Simbull.
So I bought the Bengals for 20, and I still had $10 up to my account because I didn't know what else I was going to do with it. They got to 45, and at first, when we first partnered with them, there was no baseball. And I really wanted to buy the Mets because Steve Cohen bought in. It seemed like a perfect time, especially as a fan, for me to just get in on, get in on the action. Right. So I waited till I had enough money to buy the Mets. I bought the Mets, and then I earned enough dividends, and I bought the Red Sox. And so now I have two MLB teams. I don't have any NFL franchises right now. I'm waiting to see if anyone slips. But the baseball, the dividends has been fun to just see your money pile up.
Yeah, baseball. I've only got the NFL. That's it.
Baseball was probably one of the more profitable ones for me behind basketball because I had the Cardinals and I forgot who the other team I had were, but they were really hot for. It was the Red Sox too. I got the Red Sox. I got the Cardinals and the Red Sox, and both teams have really cooled down as the season's gone on. But when they were winning a lot of games, I owned multiple shares in both teams that when the NBA season was going on, like the end of the NBA season, and I had like the Grizzlies and a couple other teams, I was earning like a couple bucks if all teams hit on the same like day, 2 days, and I'd go back in to collect. There'd be like $4 or $5 sitting in my account waiting.
That happens a few days in a row, and it's another share right there.
Yeah. And every return that I got, because I like how it shows your. Like, let me go to my teams real quick. And like, I look at my Grizzlies, it shows like your share return, your win payout return, and your total returns. Right now for the Grizzlies alone, from the initial time that I bought them, if you add in the price that I got all 3 shares that I own right now for my Memphis Grizzlies, I'm still up over 17% positive on my returns.
Jesus.
And the Mets and the Red Sox both had their like horrible turns in the season together, and with Intel, their prices also dropped.
I sold them when they were at their peak.
Yeah, while not getting. Wow, you're a smart man, Jackson Law. Mm-hmm. So I kind of ate the L on that. So we would have had this conversation August 1st. I would have been like, yeah, the baseball is no way to go. But
yeah, no, I'll keep it a buck here with everyone. My account value is up over $300. Cash is almost $200, and it was all from selling my initial shares.
Jackson, buy some stuff, or get some wins. Why you got so much cash in that thing?
Because it's not Venmo. I know it's not. Listen, I'm keeping it there because I don't know like how much I want more to like invest. Like the NFL teams are really high. I may go heavily into the NBA season once it gets a little closer.
Because that money in there is doing nothing. And if you buy a team, you at least have a chance of doing something with it.
See,
yeah, I know.
If the Jets really start to do something and I start to get a little bit of extra money, I'm going to buy into the NBA as well. It's just a matter of
nice there too.
It's just a matter of who, how, and why. You know,
what if I want to take that 190 and I pull it all out and I go spend it in Vegas when we're in Vegas? That's some spending money. That's my gambling money in Vegas.
Smart.
It's
also would be a smart man.
I love it. I love it. That you know what that should be like the soundbite of the week right there. Kriegs Korner going. It's not Simbull. It's not Vendo.
I mean,
Look,
what are the NBA teams looking like?
Trey is doubling down on his hockey love. He is not doing anything else until there's NHL on Simbull. So, Krieg, you're the Simbull expert. When can we expect some NHL?
You're asking the wrong guy, Brian. I have no idea. I just cover the news. I don't have inside scoop. I just give my dumb takes sometimes, and sometimes I forget to put warnings that they're dumb takes. But
all right, let's go in. Let's go into week 1 of the NFL, guys. It was an exciting week 1. The NFL is back. I don't even hate the NFL as much as I did last year with the blackballing of Colin Kaepernick. I may not have forgotten, but I'm at least not as angry about it. Give me like another week, and I'll go back to being like pissed off at the NFL over Colin Kaepernick. Although I love the fact that Colin Kaepernick is living rent-free in people's heads, because he is outperforming folks on Madden. You see that? His rating on Madden is higher than...
Yeah, it's like an 81.
Yeah. And you know what? Good. Because F the blackballing. I swear, if this damn fly don't get out of here, I feel like Mike Pence during a freaking debate. Flies are just flying all over the place. I don't know. Hey, listen.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. J.C. Jackson is throwing some shade on your boy Tua Tagovailoa there on Jackson Law.
I saw that.
This is an article written on our own Vendetta Sports Media website. I'm going to pull it up. This is a Max Murphy special here. I'm going to pull it up. We love a good
Max Murphy special.
Definitely love a Max Murphy special here on Vendetta. So, and look at this fella here, man. He just looks like he looks like a shade creator. Like, he must be 7 feet tall, because your man just be bringing shade like nobody's business. So, and it's even saying here, J.C. Jackson, not impressed by Tua Tagovailoa's following the Patriots' laws. So he's saying, quote, and this is the quote from Andrew Callahan from the Boston Herald, "That's what Tua do. If he doesn't have his first read, he's just going to throw the ball up, and that's when we capitalize on defense, when he makes mistakes like that." Now, to be honest, that was an ugly interception. It was like he just chucked it up and was like living on a prayer.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll go to bat for my team and my guy here real quick. First off, dude, you're just salty that you took an L. Okay. let's be real here. Still rebuilding, still looking for an identity on offense. Miami Dolphins walked into your place and took home a dub. It was ugly. I could not believe how Miami won that game. And the way that they won that game was, again, because of the defense. I'm just happy they came up with the win. We were talking about it before the show. You got to find ways to win games when your offense is not moving the football. And that's exactly what the Dolphins did. So first off, take the L, my guy. Second of all, yes, that was a bad throw by Tua. All right. I'll defend Tua on this when he wasn't, which, I mean, it makes it sound kind of worse, but he was trying to throw the ball out of bounds, but he was under duress, running the opposite way, and was just trying to get it out of bounds. It was an errant throw.
I mean, you're going to throw the ball out of bounds. You got to throw the ball out of bounds.
Jackson. I know you got to throw the ball out of bounds, but you also got to be.
Why are you aiming downfield to throw the ball out of bounds, dude?
I know. Well, because you also have to worry about the intentional grounding rules. If you just,
I'd rather him just say I made a poor decision. Than
I would rather him get intentional grounding than.
Yeah. Oh, the offensive line is terrible, dude. It stinks. It stinks.
It was just nice to see the Patriots lose an ugly. It was nice to see the Patriots lose an ugly game.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, here's my thing. Who's got the worst offensive line, the Steelers or the Dolphins?
That's tough. At least Tua can run a bit quicker than what Ben can.
Oh my God.
At least he's got some.
Dude, Ben Roethlisberger's run, did that just look disgusting? Like that looked like a dad trying to like jog across the lawn to get something, and he hasn't run in like 10 years. Like his scramble for a first down just looks so disgusting. I think that was more the Bills defense looking bad than Ben Roethlisberger. Because I think I heard someone say, one of the sportscasters here in Pittsburgh, go, vintage Ben Roethlisberger. I'm like, no, that was not vintage Ben Roethlisberger. That was dad bod Ben Roethlisberger. That looked like a Mac Jones.
That's what a radio guy says when no one can see what's going on.
Yeah. They just take him for his word. And let me continue here. He says like he just takes his first read and and that's it. And it's like, well, you're on the defense. Why don't you take away his first option? Why are you letting Miami run its offense the way that it wants to run? Why are you letting Jalen Waddle get on a route on the outside and scoring a touchdown on you? Why are you making it so easy that Tua doesn't have to go through his progression to find an open receiver? The offense is doing what it's intended to do. If an offense is running perfectly, then the quarterback doesn't have to. He doesn't have to go through his progressions. He doesn't have to go option 1, option 2, option 3. Okay, the pocket's collapsing. I got to figure something out. If the first option is open, Tua's going to take the first option.
And that's what
take away his first option. Play better defense, dude.
Yeah, this is sour grapes. This is I'm swole as hell because my team got beat, and I got made to look dumb.
And your quarterback, he was the check down king that game. He wasn't going through any progression. He was like, okay, let's just wait for the running back to get out of the backfield, and I'll just check it down to him.
Ben Roethlisberger circa 2020 season. Now, what's funny is that Trey is saying that he's wondering if I'm going to apologize to him about his take on TJ Watt. I didn't disagree with you, so why would I apologize? I didn't disagree with your take. I actually agreed with you. My whole thing was I just thought it was crap that we were getting to that point. But hey, Dad Bod Jones did have a relatively.
He did have a good. I'm not saying he had a bad game. I'm just saying
he was the check down master.
He's the check down king. That's
29 to 39.
That's how that offense runs.
In one touchdown.
Go back and look at Brady most of the time back in New England. Lots of check downs.
Speaking of which, let's just jump to what Trey was bringing up. TJ Watt. All of us Steelers fans can now breathe easy. All right, fine. Let's acknowledge the fact that Courtney is where I swear. Trey, first, it's funny. It's funny how a couple of months changes. First, Trey is up Courtney's ass for her discard of Jay Crowder, one of his many man crushes that isn't named Josh Taylor. And now he has gone deeper up the colon. Like we might as well nickname Trey Lemony Winks. Because he is up there on
Scott. Listen, Scott. I'm not degrading anything Mac Jones did. I thought Mac Jones had a great debut. I'm just saying, if everyone's going to shit on Tua the way that people have, you got to give the same treatment to everyone. No one said a word about Trevor Lawrence's performance, and it wasn't that great. Everyone lauds Justin Herbert.
Dude,
and Justin Herbert had a comparable first game of the season this year to Tua.
Trevor Lawrence got outshined by Tyrod Taylor. Okay. No one's
Tyrod Taylor had a great game.
Dude, Tyrod Taylor is a great quarterback. I don't care what anyone says. I could care. You know what?
Honestly, I have a dad bod. What do you mean I'm a dad bod hater? He's also on the Patriots. What do you want me to do?
Dad bod Jones hater.
What do you want me to do? He's on a division rival. What do you want me to do?
I could care less about Dad bod Jones.
That's like Brian saying that Baker Mayfield's the best quarterback in the NFL.
That'll never happen.
Exactly.
Dude, Baker Mayfield could be the second coming of Joe Montana, and I will find fault against him. I swear to God, like there could be a golden light on Baker Mayfield's shoulder that actually says in fine print that only I can see, second coming of Joe Montana. And you know what? I would still find nothing but fault with him. Although I did like his commercial. Did you see his commercial where he was in like the women's power walking circle. And he was
yeah, those are really funny.
That was
the progressive
hilarious.
Commercials.
If he were on any other team, I'd probably be a Baker Mayfield fan. But he's on the Browns, so F him, F his shoes.
Colin Cowherd, that gets Baker Mayfield lives rent free in Colin Cowherd's mind, and it's really funny to see it.
It's
to see it every day.
It's hilarious. I love it. So speaking of which, TJ Watt, all of us Steeler fans can now relax and rejoice. And this is courtesy of, once again, a Scotty L. Scotty L wrote this article. This is from last week. TJ Watt signs his mega extension with the Steelers. TJ Watt is now the highest paid defensive player in the NFL for at least one more season. At least one more season. TJ Watt has signed a 4-year extension worth $112 million. $28 million average per year with an $80 million fully guaranteed signing bonus. This is a baseball contract.
It's a lot.
This is a baseball contract right here. And you know what? And I was planning on writing an article about this, but time got away from me. I am so sick of NFL Twitter and some of these idiot-ass yinzers that are whining about this contract. You know what? If you're watching this, if you're hearing this, and you're whining about this TJ Watt extension, you know what? A, you're not allowed to watch the Steelers ever again. B, you are not allowed to have even a modicum of an opinion on an NFL contract. And C, you're dumb. You're just dumb. You're so dumb, you're dumb. This guy, every year that he has been in the league, is mentioned up there as the top defensive player in the league. Aaron Donald is A, TJ Watt is A1. Okay? They are neck and neck all the time. And I saw someone on Twitter try to sit there and go, oh, but how is he produced in the playoffs? You know what? Playoffs? You're whining about playoffs? You got to produce in the regular season, number one, to get there. Number two, guess what? It was his first. It wasn't his first playoff series, but I mean, look, I think most people are just mad that the Browns actually game planned for him. He was game planned for. That's what happens. Now, granted, when you're a star player, you got to fight through the game plan. But if you look at what Bud Dupree did in that playoff game, he was able to at least shine in an otherwise horrible, dismal showing. And that's what star players do. When a star player is not putting up the huge numbers, they're at least being blocked and they're being worked toward, which frees up everyone else. Uh-oh. I'm not even going to say anything about that. I'm going to let that be. I'm going to let that go. But yes, I was going to write an article. Last the playoff game against the Browns. He did not have that great of a game. But you know what? He wasn't horrible. And you know what? I guarantee you, if TJ Watt would have left the Steelers next year, those same people that are whining about his contract would be fussing about him. Oh, he's not showing team loyalty. Loyalty's a two-way street. And that's really my thoughts on it. The man deserves his money.
You gotta take care of your chicken first and foremost.
Exactly.
Gotta get that bag. If you can earn the
bag,
if you can earn the bag, you gotta get the bag. Take that bag. We don't know what can happen to TJ Watt 2-3 weeks from now.
Well, then not Bud Dupree. What was it? Alex Highsmith played in that game. Excuse me. Alex Highsmith played in that game. And you know what? Alex Highsmith had a relatively decent game being a rookie. I mean, they tried to go at him, and it didn't work out. It didn't work out that well for them at all. Alex Highsmith held his own in that playoff game. And as a matter of fact, if Alex Highsmith does bad in that game, Bud Dupree he at least gets an offer from the Steelers in the offseason. This offseason, Doug Dupree was like, hey, I'm testing free agency. Okay, bye. They really pulled a Curly Bill Brocious from Tombstone. Bud Dupree goes, well, I'm going to try free agency. Well, bye. So anyway, I don't know. Y'all thoughts on that? I'm getting heated up.
Nah, like I said, he's one of the best defensive players in the league. The past couple of years, he's been in the conversation with Aaron Donald for the best defensive player in the league and defensive player of the year conversation. So
all the time.
So he deserves the bag.
Yeah,
he deserves it.
I'm surprised
it's like what do you
question?
Like what are you supposed to do if you're the Steelers? Let a top 3 defensive player just walk for nothing?
Essentially a once in a generation type of edge rusher.
And what makes I didn't know that there was like a lifespan on him either. Pass rushers are great for as long as they want to rush. Like as long as they have that like mental edge and that step, they're gonna find a way to get there or be a presence in a way.
Yeah, and Courtney asked, if 26 was old for a player close. That's prime territory. You got him on a 4-year deal.
You're not even in prime territory yet. Well, I think for most edge rushers, once you get to like 29, 30, now your mind and your body are one. And I mean, you look at Von Miller. Look what Von Miller was able to do into his 30s. Look at what Reggie White did into his mid to late 30s.
I think as a defensive, exactly. As a defensive lineman, you're gonna be able to save your knees and that type of stuff as you get older. And you don't have to play a first, second down. You don't have to play all 4 drives.
And what about Melvin Ingram? How salty do you feel, Jackson Law, that he didn't get to the defense of your Fins?
I wish he would have, man. I think that's like one of the big things Miami needed.
Shut your whore mouth, Daubert. That was not the case. You shut your filthy whore mouth. It's bad enough that you've essentially stolen my friend, but you do not get to throw crap like that out there. You do not.
I was disappointed when Miami didn't get him, because Dolphins needed a really good pass rusher. And you looked at, there was a stat, and it was like 3 Steelers rushers were top 5 in pass rush in week 1 out of every player that rushed the quarterback in week 1 of the NFL on all 32 teams. 3 Steelers were in the top 5. I remember TJ Watt and Melvin Ingram were one of the top 2.
And I believe Cam Hayward would have been the 3rd.
Probably. Like I said, I can't remember. I saw it in passing today.
Right. We got to take a break. We're a little bit over time. I'm going to be throwing some heat with this next story. I am so sick and tired of these asshole fans, air quote, thinking they're tough kids on social media. We're going to talk about that in a minute. I'm Brian Tann, Jackson Law, with our special guest, Adam Krieger from Kriegs Korner here on the Tanndemonium Sports Show, broadcasting live exclusively on Twitch TV, twitch.tv/Vendetta Sports Media, part of the Vendetta Sports Media podcasting network. We'll be right back.
The following is brought to you in partnership by Simbull. Simbull is a new sports marketplace where you can trade shares of professional teams like stocks. You love sports. You interested in fantasy sports without the weekly annoyance of fantasy league upkeep? Then Simbull's the app for you. With Simbull, fantasy sports is going to a whole other level. How it works is simple. You buy Simbull shares for your favorite sim teams on the app. When your sim team wins, you get automatic cash deposits, and you don't lose any money when they lose. That's it. So if you follow trends across football, basketball, and baseball, and you think your team is a sleeper, simply invest in your favorite sim teams on Simbull and watch your virtual portfolio prove you right or wrong. And if you want to get in on the action right away, Vendetta Sports Media's got you covered. Go to simbull.app/Vendetta and use our exclusive promo code Vendetta, and you'll get a $10 bonus when making your first deposit. Simbull, taking fantasy sports to a whole other level.
We're back on the Tanndemonium Sports Show here, streaming exclusively live on Twitch TV, twitch.tv/Vendetta Sports Media, a part of the Vendetta Sports Media Podcast Network. Joining us today, Adam Krieger of Kriegs Korner. Krieger, did you happen to see this story about Raheem Mostert's wife getting harassed on social media after her husband's knee injury?
No, but I can, without hearing the story, I could tell you how it goes as a New York sports fan and the Mets. This has been my life for the last decade, but I'm pretty sure they've probably received death threats and a bunch of shit sent to their house, and they probably have to mute their Twitter accounts and like call police multiple times.
Yeah, you're pretty much it. Trey Daubert is about to get a hoodoo curse put on him with all this bull crap.
Ban him from the chat. Ban him from the chat.
Ban him from his own company's chat. I might even actually write maybe I'll do that tonight. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, basically it says here, and this is courtesy of Yahoo Sports. You see it here on the screen. Raheem Mostert's wife says that she was inundated with hateful social media messages after the San Francisco 49ers running back was sidelined on Sunday with a knee injury. He left Sunday's win over the Lions after 2 carries and did not return. Placed on IR yesterday. Expected to miss 8 weeks with chipped knee cartilage. And apparently what's worse about it is that these people are saying that he should kill himself and be cut. And this is what she had to say. It's days like today where I truly contemplate never getting on social media again. As if today wasn't hard enough to get on here and have DMs about how my husband should kill himself, about how he should be cut, and about how he's made of glass. I know I shouldn't care, but wow. The nasty things that some of you just carelessly say is gut-wrenching. I don't think y'all get it. Football is my husband's job. It's how my family eats. To read such heartless and degrading comments about the person I love hurts, and I try so hard to shake them off. I do. But then there's hundreds of thousands. It's a lot. He does everything to stay on that field. Everything. Sacrifices off days with his kids to get treatment/adjustments. Dietitian check-ins. You name it. Ours going to be good. He always comes back stronger. MRI tomorrow will let us know the severity. Praying for minor. Thank you to everyone that sent prayers. I appreciate you, and I see your beautiful heart. Holding my babies extra long tonight. End quote.
I know exactly the fans that are saying this. It's not really 49ers fans. It's 100% fantasy players. That's what it is.
I say it's a big issue with the gambling coming legal. It's the only downside that I see to this. Is that when real money comes involved, people get really scared.
Raheem is a running back that a lot of people they probably didn't take in as their first running back. I would say, unless you're like in a really super deep league, like 20 teams or something like that, and you were like at the tail end of it. But the Shanahan offense is pretty run heavy, which I mean they threw a lot. In this past game, and they had almost 450 yards of total offense, and Raheem was having a good game up until he got hurt. 2 carries for 20 yards. That's crazy. That's 10 yards. That's 10 yards a carry. That is setting you up for an amazing day. And the backup that took his place when he got injured, Elijah Mitchell, ended the day 19 carries, 104 yards, and a touchdown, averaged over 5 yards a carry. That's insane. Yeah, Trey saying he played 4 snaps. He had 20 yards rushing in 4 snaps. He was set up to have a monster day, and I guarantee you, and like Krieg said, it's the gambling that's involved in fantasy football, or like a lot of these websites that have like you pick your fantasy team for that day. It costs money to play in those leagues, and they're always trying to find high scores on the cheap. And so Raheem was probably going to be one of those guys that you could get more on the cheaper side to build your team for that week, and then potentially win that week's league and then have a huge cash out. Or you think that he's going to have a major season and you drafted him pretty early on and you take a chance on him. Now he's on injured reserve, going to be out at least 8 weeks. And so people are pissed. People are upset, but they lose the fact that these are people and injuries happen. It's football.
That's right. The man's a human being. And the fact of the matter is that, and then you're going after the guys. You're sending this stuff to the guy's wife.
That's the crazy.
He's out for the year.
Like,
okay.
Yeah,
Was announced.
It was announced that he's out for the season.
That's tough.
That's just, and what makes me angry about it, once again, it's the fact that people are sending this stuff, this mad hateful stuff, to a man's wife. Like, seriously. So I would love to be able to go to one of these guys who's coming after, sending this stuff to this guy's wife, and I would love to find their spouse or their mother or father and say, you know what? Your loved one should just kill themselves. Like, your loved one sucks. And I hate them. I hate them. Oh, I guarantee you they would be beyond pissed. They would be so, you leave my mother or my wife or whatever out of it. Better yet, I'll take it one step further. I'll go to their kids and trash talk them. Oh, now I'm crossing a line, right? Oh, but it's okay for you to do it. So you can cross the line, and your whole argument is, well, they're in the public light. Yeah, they're also still a human being. You're a sack of shit, and you seriously, can't say that on Twitch. All right. Well, then fine. How about this? You should do something bad.
Go away for a really long time.
Go away for a long, long time.
Voluntarily.
Yeah. People are garbage. You know what?
Amen.
Like, seriously, some of these people legitimately, I hope they lose their credit cards and somebody finds it and just goes on a spending spree on Amazon with it.
We could say that. We could say that.
How about them apples? Sure.
I hope you get a paper cut.
I hope you get a nasty paper cut on your scrote.
Hope you step on a Lego.
Yes. Yes. Better yet, I hope you step on a nail, and as you back up and look at your foot, go, oh my God, you step on that exact same nail again.
Tough.
And then when you fall on your back, you fall on Legos.
Scooter to the ankle.
Oh, that's a good one. Ankle.
That's
there
a good
you
one.
go. Better yet, I hope a 2-year-old just kicks you right in the shin.
Oof.
Boom. Feel that?
I hope you're walking out the ice cream parlor and your ice cream cone just flops
Boom.
on the ground.
Biggity bam. Man, I hope you order.
These are fates worse than death. I'd rather die than any of these things happen to me.
I hope you order a highball and your ice cube has a fly in it.
Snow in your driveway.
Happy birthday, Emma Brown. Better yet,
I didn't know today was her birthday.
Yeah.
This stuff has to be shared.
You know, I seriously want Emma Brown to go and take a slap shot and actually hit one of these people in the balls. Like, the puck just comes off of the stick and it flies through space and time and just catches someone in the sack. Well, geez. So now Trey's throwing information out of date out there.
Yeah, Trey, exactly. We need a birthday list. We need an Excel spreadsheet of the name and birth date of all employees of the company.
No one wished me a happy birthday on my birthday. So why am I wishing
birthday
anyone?
is?
Trey did wish me happy birthday.
My birthday was back in May. Didn't nobody say shit?
Do we? I think like a lot of us are in May. The only reason he knows mine is because I think I'm right after his or the day before his, something like that. There's a
Trey
few
just
of us
smells,
in a row.
Trey's just being mean and smells like pee today. That's all. So apparently, Trey's going into hiding on his birthday.
He always does that. He always orders himself like a massive thing of crab legs.
You know what? I hope Trey wakes up tomorrow and he has this long flowing Homer Simpson hair and he trips over it. Lamar Jackson is apparently mad that he fumbled against the Raiders. Me, I call it par of the course.
He fumbled 3 times.
Yeah,
right? 3 times, didn't he?
2 or 3 times. All I know is this. I could care less about Lamar Jackson. I was starting to vent about this when we were off air. I'm not a Lamar Jackson fan. And it's not just because he is on the Baltimore Ravens. I'm not a fan of Lamar Jackson because I don't like running backs that pretend to be quarterbacks. Okay?
Stinks.
He stinks.
He stinks.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
You
and it's
look
just,
like a Lamar Jackson stan because I'm very much not like he's a great NFL quarterback, but you guys make me like he's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Probably
10 for me.
top of the head. He can win you games. That's what a quarterback needs to do. Win you games. Whether it's game managing or you got to make the big plays. I mean, I'm absolutely not.
I wouldn't say he's bottom 5, but I would not put him in the top 10. No.
I'd have to
He
think.
might be top.
I'd have to make a list.
I'd have to think.
He might be top 50.
And then we end up like I'd be putting like Josh McCown on my list if I was trying to do that. Like some other people here.
I am not. Here's my thing.
Hey, MVP of 2017, 2016, whatever the year was.
I see Lamar Jackson is Michael Vick 2.0, and I was never a fan of Michael Vick. Michael Vick could throw the ball a country mile, but he could not put the ball on his receivers to save his life. All he did was run the ball. You want to talk about a guy who's just going to hoist the ball up if his first or second option isn't there. That's Michael Vick. That's Lamar Jackson, and I don't like it. You know what? I'm not even a Joe Flacco fan, and I will take Joe Flacco over Lamar Jackson. Flat out.
Joe Flacco's elite.
I just
only when he wants to be. Only when he wants to be. And it was one season, one postseason run where he was elite. And he really wanted to do it. If
you want to be a running quarterback, you know what? You know who was a running quarterback that could actually throw the ball with accuracy and precision? You look at Randall Cunningham. Look at John Elway. Okay, look at Steve Young. All right? I mean, hell, freaking Donovan McNabb could put the ball on people with accuracy. Cam Newton is a more accurate quarterback.
Think he plays again this year or no?
I think so.
It would be later. It'd be after like some injuries or.
I don't see Cam Newton on a team before week 8. I'm not saying McNabb. I mean, honestly, I'll take Donovan. I'll build my franchise over Donovan McNabb before I'll build it around Lamar Jackson. Cam Newton is not going to the Washington football team.
Wow. Why not?
What's that?
Why not?
Why not what?
Why wouldn't Cam go to the Washington football team? They lost the starting quarterback.
Because it's Tyler Heineke's team, baby.
Come on.
Because honestly, I just part of me just doesn't see it. If he was going to go
Ron
there,
Rivera?
exactly. He would have signed by now.
It's Tuesday.
Man, no.
Actually,
if I got cut by the Patriots,
that's
and I knew the Patriots were going to be and I knew that the Washington football team was going to need a quarterback, I'd have my agent, my dad, on the phone with Ron Rivera as soon as your boy got hurt. He'd be calling the Washington football team's front office as soon as that injury came.
Yeah, but
apparently Rivera doesn't even want him.
We've also learned that nothing NFL coaches say matters. So
that's true. That's true. But
I learned that here actually.
If I were Cam Newton's dad, I would have been calling the Washington football team's front office as soon as Fitzmagic went down.
You think that even has to happen, or you think Cam just texts Ron and be like, "Hey, if you want me, I'll hop on a plane."
I don't know. I don't.
In his weird font.
Honestly, you know what I would do if I was Cam?
That is a chore to decipher.
He's an automatic mute because he gives me a headache anytime I try and read that. It's unfortunate.
I hate the headscarf that the man wears. It freaks me out. It really does. He looks like he's going to be in Throw Mama from the Chain, the remake. All right. You know what though? Honestly, if I were the Houston Texans, I would be gauging some interest in him. Just for the fact that Tyrod Taylor, because he does.
Tyrod smoked Jacksonville.
He did, but here's the thing: Tyrod Taylor plays so hard that he ends up getting hurt. I would have someone behind
bless his heart.
Just in case. Bless his heart.
It's not his fault. It's not his fault. The lungs, the doctors stabbed him in the lung.
That's true.
I would always.
I'm telling you, man. They went all blitz to the league on him, and they were trying to get the needle just right to heal him, and they missed. They missed up
the mini game and got him along.
I'd be so mad.
I would keep Tyrod Taylor under center. But I would have Cam Newton as a backup.
Yeah, but Cam's going to do that.
Yeah.
You give him another few weeks of not having no money coming in.
I think he did say
he
that
said he would play backup.
I think he said he would play backup to Mac Jones, but that the Patriots didn't want him as a backup because
people would be
because of his personality, because of who he is. It's almost like Cam has like that Tim Tebow effect where no matter Tim Tebow went, you knew he wasn't going to be the starting quarterback, but just because it's Tim Tebow, like look how much traction he got this past offseason because he was trying out to be a tight end for the Jaguars. How much time from national news personalities was dedicated 15-minute segments, multiple days of Tim Tebow trying to make a comeback to the NFL that was just a pipe dream.
That's a good point.
That was one of my first posts here. I said Tim Tebow should quit minor league baseball, and literally 12 hours later, he did.
There you go. There you go. And but before we move on from this Ravens and Raiders Monday night game, I just want to say the ESPN Plus broadcast with Eli and Peyton Manning was the best idea that ESPN has ever had since NFL primetime with Chris Berman.
Crime time. Why did I say crime time?
Crime time. now I want a crime show that's narrated by Chris Berman because of that.
Did you watch the entire game on that broadcast?
Yes, I did not turn it to the actual broadcast. I watched the Manning Bros the entire
I heard the
time.
first half was bad and the second half got a lot better.
Yeah, and I think it's because they found their footing in the second half. But the first half the first half was...
He did that before the show aired.
No, I did not, Brian.
I'm kidding. That did not happen. Please, Twitch folks, do not. I'm kidding. Okay, I promise. I'm joking.
I'm joking.
But no, it was. You want to say the Jeep Wave sucks? Why does it suck? You're part of it. You're part of an exclusive club now. It's a cult. Just appreciate it. But no, it was great. Brian, I know you don't watch national broadcast, but I know you have ESPN Plus.
I do.
So next Monday, you have to watch it. And it was really fun when they brought. It was really fun that they brought on guests. Like they brought in Charles Barkley, which Charles Barkley on his own is funny, but it's football.
Charles Barkley is such a wimp. Didn't he talk about how he tried to play football and he got hit and he quit?
He had it on the Raiders. I think he was rocking a Raiders jersey. Barkley was.
Yeah.
How many miles of fabric was that jersey? Because I'm sorry, Charles Barkley is on those LBs.
And then they brought in Travis Kelce, Ray Lewis, and Russell Wilson. Were the other guests.
Who did he stab? Who did he shoot? All I want to know is where was Ray Lewis when Joey Porter got shot?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I'm bringing it back. I'm taking it back in the old days, man.
Jeez.
Oh man. All right, we're gonna take another break to go in our final segment. We're gonna recap the scores from week 1 of the NFL. Then we're gonna go to week 2, and you know what? Let's have a little bit of fun. Let's pick some winners and some losers of week 2, and then I want to talk about how are you as a kicker kicked out of the game after the very first play. We're gonna check that out. We're gonna watch that video. We're going to be back for our final segment of the Tanndemonium Sports Show here on Vendetta Sports Media. We are broadcasting live exclusively on Twitch TV, twitch.tv/Vendetta Sports Media. We are a part of the Vendetta Sports Media podcasting network. We'll be right back.
The following broadcast is brought to you in association by XP Coffee Company. XP Coffee Company is the fresh brewed coffee made for gamers by gamers. Get amazing flavors like Choco Loco in 8, 12, or 16-ounce bags. Or level up and get Illusion, Isolation, Nightmare, or the Majestic Throne blends in light, medium, or dark roast in whole bean, coarse French press, drip, or fine espresso in 12-ounce, 16-ounce, or 2-pound bags. Wow! Shipping worldwide. If you're in the U.S., go to usa.xpcoffee.co. If you're in Europe or in the U.K., go to www.xpcoffee.co. XP Coffee Company, for gamers, by gamers.
All right, we're back on the final segment of the Tanndemonium Sports Show. And, I want to know how come I'm not getting a chance to vote on Survivor? Like, why? That's messed up.
We did have intern meetings this morning.
You know, that's true. That is true. That's true.
And I mean, you're doing a stream. This is technically your show. You're the main. I'm the co.
I may be the low man on the totem pole on my own show, because you figure I've got 2 other executives that are the primary on this show, and I know Kriegs Korner outranks me too. So
come on.
I'm just the lowest guy.
I haven't even been here that long.
Like, honestly, the only people that are under me in this company are the interns.
Nah, man, we're all in this pool together.
There's no one under me. We're all equal. It's the Don and then everyone else.
That is true. That is no. Jackson. I think Jackson. Who do you? If Trey is the Don Corleone, who do you think Jackson is? I got my money that Jackson is Clemenza.
I'm gonna get yelled at for this, but I don't even know what movie you're referencing because I haven't seen The Godfather. If that's what you're talking about, or
you are never allowed on this show again until you watch that movie.
Dude,
if I would have known that you
can someone
seen
clip
that movie,
can someone clip that? Can someone clip Brian's face when Krieg is mentioning that? Please.
If I would have known that, I never would have invited you on the show. My heart is broken. Right? My heart can't go on.
It's tough.
Like my heart literally just stopped.
That needs to be clipped, and that needs to be on the socials immediately. ASAP.
No, I compare Jackson to Clemenza. Jackson is Trey's Clemenza. I would seriously say that Jackson is Trey's Clemenza. What do you think? Oh, Krieg, you don't get an opinion anymore because you never watched it. I think, you know what? Fine. I'll use something that Courtney might know. I think that if Jackson is sunny, then that means that Jackson is coffee cake.
I've seen The Bronx Tale.
All right, so Jackson. Yeah. So do you think that Jackson would be the coffee cake to Trey's sunny?
I've seen The Bronx Tale, so it means I recognize names, but I'm going to trust your reference on this.
All right,
sure.
Fair enough. All right, fair enough. Wow. Are there any mobster movies you have seen? Have you at least seen The Departed?
I'm a Twitch guy. I'm not a big movie guy. Never have been.
You just disappoint.
I like sports movies. Sports movies.
All right, fine. So I guess I can't even use a sports reference on it. All right, fine. I guess if Jackson would probably be he wouldn't be the Nuke Lelouch because Jackson doesn't like blink to breathe. So anyway, I think that in this company, I think that Jackson is like the firm number. He's among the firm number twos.
Oh,
he's the firm turd.
When I was referring to we, I wasn't referring to Jackson or even you, really.
Yeah, but I mean, there's Trey, and then there's Jackson.
Titles are going to have mafia terms.
We hand out contracts. All the titles are having mafia terms.
I mean, it's on par with StreamYard Queen and everything else. All the other.
Yeah, that's true. We got the StreamYard Queen. We've got the executive. I think Jackson would be the consigliere, and then Kane is like the backup consigliere. He's the pseudo consigliere. We're throwing as many synonyms on Kane as possible. All right, so looking at the scores of the NFL, there you go. All right, I'm gonna bring up I'm gonna share this whole thing here. Let's take a look here. All right, so for those that don't know, what the hell? Later.
Subscribe to the NFL now.
No, don't want to.
No,
I am not falling into your propaganda, NFL.com. All right, so Buccaneers, Cowboys, that was bullshit. That was a push off. You're never going to change my mind on that. It was a push off. I love the fact that I mute this and it comes back on its own. Dude, they're really trying to push that in on
dude, they got to get their cash somehow because, the NFL is so poor.
They really are. Texans pull one out over the Jags. 3 interceptions on one Trevor Aloysius Lawrence right there.
See, and no one's crapping on him.
And
everyone hates on Tua because he throws 1 interception, but they get a dub. And Trevor Lawrence, not a great debut.
It's all because if Tua wasn't Samoan, they wouldn't be up his ass. I'm saying it. Chargers pick up the win over the Washington football team. Justin Herbert picking up where he left off in his Rookie of the Year campaign. Krieger, do you think the Chargers are real this year, or do you think that they're sort of still middle dwellers?
No, I'm excited to see what Herbert can do without Lynn and see what happens. I am expecting a little bit of regression. It was a nice, Washington football team. Obviously, Fitzmagic got hurt, and we didn't see what their final form is going to be. I don't think their D-line played great either. So
Chargers 4th in the division.
I'm not saying 4th in the division.
I don't know if they're that bad.
They're going to be 2nd or 3rd. Depends on the Raiders do.
So it'll be Chiefs and Chargers.
Yeah.
With the Raiders in 4th place.
No. Yeah. Well, the Chargers and the Raiders will be back and forth. I'm curious to see how those games play out.
Okay. All right. Jackson, what do you think about the chart? What do you think about Justin Herbert?
Exactly, Garrett.
I mean, I think that regardless of what Justin Herbert does, I think they have a good enough defense where they're always going to stay competitive. But I would probably expect a sophomore slump. Most quarterbacks do. But who knows? Maybe prove me wrong.
All right. Colts fall to the Seahawks 28-16.
Dude, the Colts, it does not get any easier for them because this week they have the Rams. It is an extremely tough start for them. On the bright side, they're inarguably the weakest division in the NFL. So they could still win. They could start 0-2 and still win their division. And it's nothing against Wentz and the Colts as a team. They're just playing against really good teams. And they bounced back pretty good in the second half against the Seahawks. It's a new quarterback in Wentz who was coming off an injury. There's going to be growing pains. Yeah. There's still 17. There's still
I forgot about
17
Russell Wilson for a second. I just forgot he existed for a quick second. He was all upset. He was all upset this offseason, and he just kind of showed he's still a very great quarterback.
He is still an elite quarterback.
Exactly.
And I'll tell you the truth right now. You sleep on Russell Wilson, you're doomed to fail.
I need him to throw to DK Metcalf more though. Stop throwing to Tyler Lockett. Like
you are about fussing about
blackball that man out of your throwing motions. Just get him out of there. Only throw to DK.
You were fussing a hell of a lot on that on Sunday.
Because it went to halftime before he even had a target. It wasn't until the second half until he had a target.
I feel you. I'm not mad at you. I'm just making an observation. Sam Darnold gets some sweet revenge against the New York Football Jets. Oh man, I'll tell you one thing, that was a game that was fun. I watched a little bit about that.
It was not fun.
I mean, honestly, I was happy to see Sam Darnold get the win. It was a really close game. It was kind of an ugly game, but you know what? I like the ugly games. I like seeing the defenses get some work in.
I'm curious to hear your guys' take on this. So I know Trey bets against his own team all the time. This is the first time I'd ever made a bet against the Jets, my team. I thought that the Panthers were the best bet of the week. Is that fair or foul, betting against your team?
That's fair. If your team's in a position like the Jets, that's 100%.
I just thought I thought revenge game. It was a no doubter.
Yeah, and a much better team, and poetic justice that his bomb of a touchdown came to Robbie Anderson. Too.
It ended up being listen. They barely covered, but I'll never do it again. But I just want to hear takes. Fair or foul?
Nah, it's fair. And I know it's just one game, but Zach Wilson, his story is going to be Sam Darnold 2.0. I don't know. The Jets. No, I'm not saying. I am not saying that he's going to be good or bad. I'm saying the Jets. I don't know if they're going to support him enough. Enough. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying that he's going.
His mom is going to demand a trade.
I am saying that he obviously has raw talent, and he's not going to get the support, and he's going to waste a couple years, some good years that he needs to learn to be a better quarterback. It's going to waste him.
So we're going to see this again in probably.
That's what I'm scared of.
In 2024, we're going to see the same thing if this kid doesn't get hurt. All right,
we'll see.
Bengals Vikings. Yeah. Bengals Vikings. This was the first OT game of the season, and we talked about this game on.
I thought they were going to tie. I thought they were going to tie. I'm surprised the team actually won. I swear, Vikings, it's the Bengals and Vikings are always teams that are involved with ties. So this just seemed like in the stars that they were going to end this game on a tie, but Bengals won.
Here's my thing with this: the Vikings are. I feel bad for the Vikings fan base because they always have a relatively decent team on paper, but they just never have any follow through. Like, I would never want to root for Kirk Cousins. Like, he's right up there with COVID Cole Beasley, in my opinion.
You like that?
You like that? COVID Cole Beasley and COVID Cousins, man. They're the COVID boys. I wish they were on the same team so I could call them the Minnesota COVIDs, the Minnesota viruses. Matter of fact, no, the Minnesota Smiths, because Agent Smith was a virus. Oh, man. I would hate being a Vikings fan because they're so middle of the road. And they're always going to be middle of the road. The Vikings are not a very well-run organization, and they haven't been for a long time. You know, they've had some instances where they've overachieved, and they've gotten some really, really good wins. I'm not taking that away from them.
They've gotten the luckiest break in the last.
They have gotten way more lucky breaks than anything. And the thing is, they deserve to be as snake bitten as possible, because when you waste the talents of what was his name? When you waste Randy Moss, as well as I can't remember the guy's name right now, the quarterback that was on the team.
Randall, or not Randall
Cunningham.
Dante
Culpepper.
Culpepper.
When you waste Culpepper
I got the
and
C's.
Moss, you deserve to be as snake bitten as possible, because they should have had at least 2 to 3 Super Bowls out of those guys.
I tried to block Dante Culpepper out of my mind, because that's who Nick Saban in Miami went after instead of Drew Brees.
Yep. I knew you would have an issue with that. That's why I brought him up.
Big. Still have nightmares to this day. Still wake up in a cold sweat crying.
It could be HIV.
Jesus.
Possible too.
The Cardinals.
I don't know if the needle was clean that they stuck me with when I got my vaccine.
I love how Courtney's like, what? Cardinals.
We're trying to play Get Banned on Twitch bingo today.
Oh wait, was I not allowed to say that?
We're almost there. We're almost there.
I just feel like anytime you see, like, now we're gonna have like an Instagram tag on us.
It is gonna be like, why did this happen? Some asshole named Brian Tan did it.
It's an 0-2 count. It's okay. We can work our way back up.
Yeah. Cardinals shellacked the Titans, and Julio Jones makes a dumbass move that his head coach called him out for. They shelled out all this money for Julio Jones and for Bud Dupree. Not a good start to the year.
They're overhyped. They're overrated. And I really like the Cardinals too this year. So this was like it's nice being right. Like, I have 2 separate takes and the takes meet and you're right. It feels good.
Krieg?
I got burned by Julio Jones in fantasy. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be wrong on the Cardinals, but I think they're going to be probably between like 12 and 13 wins this year.
Do we know how James Conner did on Sunday? Do we know how he did? Courtney, can you look that up real quick? Because I definitely want to know how James Conner did. I'm hoping. I bet you that he actually had a better. I think he might have had a better.
16 carries, 53 yards.
So he had a better statistical game than Najee Harris, then, right?
Yeah, well, obviously, but James Conner also has an offensive line to run by.
That's true. I want to see how James Conner does with a solid offensive line in front of him. I love James Conner. I'm going to be paying attention to his career for the rest of it. I will be watching your career with great interest, said the Sith Lord. The 49ers, just like this score, the game was
I wanted the
nowhere
Lions
near
to come back so bad, and
So
they
did
almost
I.
did.
How are you up like 30 trillion to like barely anything, and then you barely eke out an 8-point victory?
Dan Campbell's a motivator, maybe. Listen,
could it be the Lions are not the joke?
Imagine like you're a grown man. Like, so easy to pack that shit in. You know you're not going to win the game. Like, a grown man rallies you up and comes back against another NFL team. Props to him and them.
Dan Campbell magic. It was Dan Campbell mania when he was in Miami.
And that was nothing to do. I did not bet on that game either. That was nothing. That was just like straight football eyes, not gambling eyes.
Oh, let's see. I like this Lions team. The only one around, I feel like they won't be awful. That'll be the first time in a long time for sure. Because the Lions have always been awful. The Lions have been awful. The only time the Lions in my lifetime weren't awful was when Barry Sanders was there. And even then, they weren't a good team. It was Barry Sanders and those 10 other guys.
You want to talk about ruining talent? Calvin Johnson.
Oh, my God. Dude, Calvin Johnson had better have his
Dude was in the league for like 8 seasons and was a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's how good he was.
I got robbed. Like, I didn't watch enough of his career. He should have played
his
longer.
career. He was robbed of a career because of that crap organization.
Yeah.
All right. So the Steelers and the Bills. This is a vindication game for the Pittsburgh Steelers as an organization, I think, because all last year they were called the worst 11-0 team ever. And then they completely faltered, and no one picked them in this game. No one. Even me, Mr. Superfan. I have 3 different terrible towels. 3 different terrible towels. Hold on. I'm going to show you because they're right over here. Hold on.
They're in the studio.
Show you what I mean.
I mean, I was wrong on them too. I didn't expect, like, I knew the Steelers have a good defense, but I didn't expect Josh Allen to just,
bullshit.
Get stagnant.
Bull.
I was so wrong on them too.
here's the thing. I have three.
I think he took him to cover.
I took three. I had three different terrible towels. Hold on. No, not Jackson.
Hey, what's up? It's just me.
I took myself out of the stream.
Now we're lined up funny. Now it's just me again.
I can't figure this out. This sucks. I'm trying so hard. There we go. Is this it? There
Tried so hard and got so far.
This is my first, the original kind of. Then, whoa, where the hell's my other terrible towel? This is bullcrap. Oh, it's right there. This is the other one, the inverted. This is actually my favorite one because I love this inverted look. Yeah, I should leave it to the professional, Courtney. I should have.
Thank you, Garrett, for finishing me off, baby.
And then, ew.
Oh, shit.
That's going to get us kicked off of the Twitch. That's dirty. So these are my three terrible towels.
It's you with your dirty minds.
So those are my three terrible towels.
I said what I said, and I stand by it.
And even I did not pick them to win this game. And what did they? And it looked horrible. It looked absolutely terrible. And I was even saying that unless those, you know what, Trey? You about to get cussed out. You had to play a decade-ass old game to even have the Ravens remotely do anything against the Steelers. The Steelers have owned your Baltimore Ravens so oftentimes it should be illegal.
Ray Lewis was out there murdering people.
Yep. And you know what? They still couldn't get one over the Steelers. So either way, so the whole fact of the matter is that I did not believe in the team at all. In the defense, I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what? These guys are going to gas out in the second half. There's no way. They're done. And what happened? They found the way to win. And that's what good teams do. Jackson, you said that on Sunday.
'Tis true.
Yes, Joe Flacco is a Super Bowl champion, but you know what? In real life, he don't have as many as Big Ben.
Numbers don't lie.
The offensive line, I wouldn't say they showed out. I would say that they did what they needed to
Trent
do.
Dilfer.
F. Trent Dilfer. So, yeah, I love Josh Allen, but the Steelers showed that with a good defense will make a great quarterback look pedestrian. That's what good defensives do. And
Only fairly good. Garrett, it's
yeah,
two pressures on 20 drop back.
And I fussed like mad when every time Najee Harris touched the ball, I kept screaming. That's why we needed to use our first round pick on a lineman. We need linemen.
Yeah, drafting running backs.
Ray Lewis.
First round,
I still say the only reason why Ray Lewis has as many rings as Big Ben is because he was threatening to stab some people. That and the fact that he also threw away his suit.
He was the one that cut out the lights at the Super Bowl with the when they played the 49ers.
It's true. All right, so Eagles, Falcons. Falcons is probably to be a Falcons fan. You know what?
This is a new low for Atlanta.
I said this on Sunday, Krieg, and tell me if you agree with me when I say this. I said this on Sunday. You want to talk about a more disappointing career than Matt Ryan?
I don't know that he kept them relevant for all those years. I mean,
he's kept them relevant, but now it's like he gets to one Super Bowl and chokes.
Yeah, I don't know, but like when you look at I would take him on my team every single year. I would have taken him for the last however long he's played, the good years and the bad years, because competent quarterback play in the NFL is hard to find, and if you have competent quarterback play, you can try and build around that. I mean, so
his career, Jackson, is wasted just like Megatron's was then.
I mean, at least he played more years, and he did get an MVP.
At least he played.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you were an MVP and can consider yourself like your career wasted.
Fair enough. Maybe I'm just mean, and I'll accept that.
I mean, I think the real takeaway from that game was that the Eagles might be good.
Slow down. It's the Eagles. It's the Eagles.
Devontae Smith looked good.
I have, yeah.
You know what though? I hope Jalen Hurts has a good season. I do. I would like to see him get a good season. This game, Chiefs and Browns. It started with some controversy, and I'm so happy to see the Browns lose. When the Browns lose, it makes my soul warm just a little bit more. Cleveland talked all that trash. Dude, realize something. Hey, you're 121-1 in season openers since 1999. Thank you very much, NFL.com, for giving us that little stat. But also, you almost lost to Chad Henne. You couldn't even beat a Patrick Mahomes-less Chiefs. You lost to Chad Henne. Slow down.
Miami Dolphin legend Chad Henne.
There you go.
You show some respect on that man when you say his name.
Whoa. When did I say I was rooting for Cleveland? I did not say that.
The mid to late 2000s were very bad years for Miami. Anyway, continue.
So, but then of course, we see a defensive back ejected after he almost gets into a fight with a coach. Now, I kind of understand where the coach is coming from because it looked like he was trying to stand over Hyde. It was like he was trying to stand over him and then stepped on him.
Hashtag fake news.
Yeah, that is about some fake news being spread.
You're actually making mad, Trey.
I did say that I was hoping that Cleveland was better this year because I want to see a competitive AFC North. That is what I said, yes.
Right now, it looks like the Ravens are going to drag that down more than the Bengals will.
Seriously. They can kiss fake-ass Third Street Saints wannabe team. But no, man, like, do you guys agree that the Chiefs coach was do you agree with me? I think that the Chiefs coach was in the right. When it looks like you're trying to stand over a guy and then you step on him, you get the hell off my player.
Yeah, and I mean, that's part of the coach's jobs are to insert themselves in between the players when there's fighting, so that way there's no suspensions. There's no punches thrown.
Right. Seriously.
Yeah, it's your job to get in the middle, but like every time I see a coach put their hands on a player at any level, it still kind of like makes me feel a little bit dirty.
I hear you.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know. That's my take on that.
Let's take a look at I think this is probably the worst loss of week one. The Falcons losing to the Eagles is easily a number 2. But number 1, Saints shellacking the Packers. How many people
all-time shellacking
Jameis Winston?
Yeah. The man had like less than 150 yards passing and still threw for 5 touchdowns. How does that happen?
Because, man, he got LASIK eye surgery. He knows who he's throwing the ball to now.
Hey, he was eating that dub.
Dude, I bet
that's a W.
Yo, seriously, I hope next week Jameis Winston throws for another 5 touchdowns and has like 500 yards passing.
He's gonna have like 3,000 yards passing, but 60 touchdowns at this rate.
Jameis being in the NFL is good for the NFL. Funny videos go out. He's someone like some people like to hate, like rooting against. Some people love
Crab Boy is back in business.
Exactly. Like when Jameis is in the NFL, like things are going well.
I agree. And he's a great redemption story. I wish the Steelers would have picked him up when they had the chance. Because it looks like, even though I wanted Dwayne Haskins,
and the best thing about that is that like there's no like obviously he probably wish he would have won a Super Bowl with the Bucs, but they were not winning a Super Bowl with him. It was the best thing for everyone. Like he was never going to win a Super Bowl there. Like he's a chance to succeed elsewhere. So it was kind of just a win-win for everyone. That's why it's nice to root for Jameis.
I agree. And Sean Payton is an amazing coach. I seriously see another Super Bowl in the next 5 years for New Orleans. Within the next 5 years, I see another Super Bowl for sure. All right. Giants fall to the Broncos. Hey, could this be the redemption tale of Teddy Bridgewater? Or is Daniel Jones just that horrible?
Daniel Jones is that horrible.
I agree.
Daniel Jones.
The Giants' offense is just that horrible, and their defense, if they're giving up.
I think if they had a better quarterback, they'd be a lot more competitive. And I still think they'll be competitive in their division because
that's a horrible division.
It's a very horrible division.
Like the worst division in football. Like they might as well be the NL Central.
Exactly.
I like.
So do you think after next season it's time to walk away from Daniel Jones? Is it time to cut your losses and move on?
It's going to be Daniel Jones. It's going to be Gettleman. It's going to be a lot of people. Jason, the thing that really screwed Daniel Jones was them deciding to hire Jason Garrett as his offensive coordinator. There was no rational human being thought that was a good move.
That's almost as bad as getting
I could see them.
It's almost as bad as how Adam Gase.
I don't think they should do it, but I could see them using Jason Garrett as the scapegoat, firing him, and then trying to go one more year with Daniel Jones.
That should have happened already, though.
But it should have. After last season, it should have happened.
Even after last season and week 1, 2, I will.
All right, let's finish this up real quick because we're out of time. We already talked about Dolphins and Patriots. I think that this is the year that Tua shuts up his haters. Agree or disagree, yay or nay?
I mean, you know my stance.
I know your stance. What do you think there, Krieg? You think this is the year that Tua shuts up the haters?
I really don't know. I want to root for Tua so bad, but also in my division, I think he's just he'll just go into the dust. He's a career backup who can give you an electric play every now and then, but I don't know if he's a great quarterback for a franchise.
I'm going to call Tua as being he's going to be that guy that everyone loves to hate, but he's going to have a decent career. He's going to he's going to be sort of see, I kind of want to Bernie Kosar was a good quarterback. He wasn't an elite quarterback, but he was a good quarterback.
Assuming all things are considered, Deshaun Watson's innocent. If you right now, Deshaun Watson or
I know, yeah, Tua. I know.
I would take Deshaun Watson in a heartbeat.
I mean, it's no question. Deshaun Watson, it's easy because Tua, we think Tua is going to be good. I still have faith in him, but we know what Deshaun Watson is. Deshaun Watson, an innocent Deshaun Watson that's fully focused on football, is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Absolutely. You don't pass up on that. You don't pass on a what if, even if Tua does turn into what I think he could be, which is potentially a top 10 quarterback. You don't take the what ifs. You take Deshaun Watson.
At best,
I am a rational.
I just want to make sure. Listen, NFL fandom makes rational people irrational.
I think that Tua at worst is Bernie Kosar. Tua at best, I would say Jim Kelly. Do we think that's fair?
I mean, he's only the most accurate and statistically the best quarterback to ever play college football. So
yeah, but at one point, what the hell is his name again? Tim Tebow was supposed to be the best college football quarterback ever at one point.
He was the best running quarterback.
Yeah, well, Tim Tebow sucks. So yeah, he
stinks. Tua can throw better than Tebow.
My mom can throw better than Tebow. Okay.
Fair.
Dude makes one great pass in a crossing route, and all of a sudden he's like the second coming. F him.
And also this one last thing on Tua. Even Colin Cowherd had to admit this. Tua's got a great record as a starter. He's 8-3.
That's true.
Leading the Dolphins.
And I don't like Colin Cowherd. So yeah.
I don't either. But
the Rams
pretty good.
He's right sometimes.
The Rams welcome the Rams welcome in the Bears and let them know this is our house. Matt Stafford winning his debut. How long, guys, until we get how long until we see a quarterback change in Chicago?
I'll go week 4 or 5.
Week 3.
I see a quarterback change no later than week 8. I'll say they stick with Andy Dalton up until week 8 at best.
I thought I didn't think the Rams were that special after watching the game. The Bears definitely had so many chances to stay in the game, and obviously got away from them at the end. But that score is kind of misleading. I personally think maybe whatever.
It was a close first half, and again, it goes back to the fact that it's a new quarterback, and they're all still trying to find their chemistry together. I think the Rams are going to be a force to reckon with. Give them a couple more weeks where Stafford's been in the offense more. And everyone starts to get in game shape too, because they sat a lot of starters in the preseason.
Well, let me ask you this then: if the Bears go 6-2 by week 8, Andy Dalton is still the starting quarterback. Yes.
If he's starting all those games, then yeah.
If he's the starter in the first 8 games, and they're still 6-2, he's still the starter.
I think if they're 500, he's still probably the starter.
You think so?
Probably if they're winning football games, and it depends on how they win.
Nah, not 500, because 500 is like the worst place to be, because you're not going to get better or worse. Like you're not, if you're middle of the road.
I don't know. I just don't trust their organization.
Well, now if they
Nagy's going to be gone soon, so at the end, no matter what, next year Justin Fields will be the starting quarterback.
Oh, 100%.
And it's most likely to be without Matt Nagy. So Justin Fields' career starts next year.
Nagy's gone after next year. He absolutely is. And now I see Justin Fields taking the field if we go to week 5 and they're 1-4, Fields is in the game. He's in. He's the guy. Absolutely.
At that point, though, it might just be too late, because then you're just putting him on a dejected team that's going to sometimes people forget that they're grown men. They're doing a job, like we were talking about. People are just doing a job, but like, I don't know. If you get a dejected group of people in Chicago, it's cold in late November, December. They don't want to block. You're not putting in the best spot either in a 1-5 team.
Right. And then finally, the Raiders in the Ravens. Guys, are the Raiders that good or are the Ravens that bad?
I think the Ravens are that bad. They got beat by a team that I think most people across the NFL have them finishing 3rd or 4th in their division and outside of the playoffs.
I agree. I can't wait until Alejandro Villanueva has to block TJ Watt or Alex Highsmith or Melvin Ingram. I can't wait, because Alejandro Villanueva got beat like he stole something last year. He got beat. And the Ravens are that bad. Now, granted, the one thing I will say is that I was so happy to see Darren Waller really just have that. Darren Waller is a beast.
He had 17 targets or 19 targets.
It was 19 targets.
Insane like that.
Dude, Waller.
Okay,
is
good for Darren Waller fantasy owners, because my goodness, the man's going to get 20 targets a game. He's obviously going to put up numbers.
I remember when I think it was either Madden 21 or Madden 20, and I did the I played the face of the franchise, and I had a quarterback. And I got drafted by the Raiders, and I was so excited because I had Waller. Waller, by the time I was done with that career, Waller had so many yards, it wasn't even funny. He beat out what the hell is the guy's name? Tim, the leading receiver for the Raiders all time. I cannot remember his name. I know the name is right on the tip of my tongue. Raiders leading receiver all time. Tim Brown. Thank you. He had more yards than Tim Brown. Tim Brown has 14,734 yards. Darren Waller ended up finishing off with like 17,000 yards. Because literally, I would throw to him and like a couple of other receivers. Like, dude, Waller's a beast. He's an absolute beast.
He's fun to watch.
He's
part of the next like great tight end generation. There's always one or two in a decade. Kelsey and Gronk are on their way out. He's going to be the young gun.
I'm going to pick.
Yeah,
I honestly,
the Ravens cut Waller.
I forgot they cut him too. You know who I think?
Okay, didn't they cut him for a little bit of extenuating circumstances? I'm pretty sure he was in like rehab. That was why they cut him, because he was trying to get like clean.
If that's the case, then the Ravens are especially a trash bag organization. And you don't cut a guy in rehab.
That might be fake news, but I
would like Hawkinson more if Jared Goff wasn't his quarterback.
See, I was right.
All right. You know what? I'm going to call it right now, man. Pat Freiermuth is going to be one of the next good tight ends. And I really hope that it catches on. Every time he catches the ball, they go, move! To give some love to Heath Miller. Because I don't want the Steelers crowd chanting Heath every time he catches. I want to hear.
Hey, before we leave, quick shout out to our boys Alex Cervantes and Carl Heiser, who Carl is recovering from surgery right now. So prayers up to that man. Their first college football or college basketball podcast just dropped. I see it on my Twitter feed.
Oh wow, it happened!
Instant watch. Finally, it dropped.
But
finally dropped.
But
there's a catch.
There's a catch.
Just audio.
That's fine. I just want to listen. I just that's fine. That's fine. I need it in my life. I need it in my life.
Segue, Krieg. Because now, usually after the Tanndemonium Sports Show here on twitch.tv/Vendetta Sports Media, streaming live exclusively on Twitch TV, a part of the almost said the Tanndemonium Podcast Network. It's actually the Vendetta Sports Media Podcast Network. However, usually Q&A with Uncle Trey is the next show. But no, we're going to have a special edition of Vendetta Survivor. Of course, I wasn't invited to be on it, but you know what? I'm not leaving the stream, so I'm staying because I want to be on it. Trey can't tell me no because he actually said that I could be on the next one that I wanted to be on.
Hey, this just means it's coming out soon, so I'm okay with that.
Audio's out.
See.
Anyway, so there's gonna be some discussion. There's gonna be some. All right, so I do get a vote. All right. I get at least one post in a week. Technically, two, because of the audio and the video.
There you go.
So a special edition of Vendetta Survivor is coming up next here on twitch.tv/Vendetta Sports Media. It's been another episode of the Tanndemonium Sports Show. Oh, before we leave, I want to see a video. I want to see what gets a kicker kicked out of the game. I want to see what gets a kicker kicked out of the game real quick.
Stupid.
I want to see this. And I'm going to share my audio on this too, because I want to hear what's going on.
So dumb what happens.
We're talking about pressure.
After review, personal foul, targeting, number 48 kicking team. 15-yard penalty. It's an automatic first down. Number 48.
Look at his face. He's like, wait, what? What?
He gone. Clay Helton's got fired.
Show the replay.
Yeah, please show the replay. There we go.
Well, again, all of the four components of the
that wasn't even a good hit.
The kicker, because you don't expect him to put his head in there. We used to refer to receivers.
I think that's the right call.
And so we're talking about pressure on the
Oh no.
Personal foul.
He didn't make it. I mean, it wasn't helmet to helmet.
It's disqualified.
He put his chest into his body. That's a clean tackle.
But you can't dip your head, so you break your neck. You know that.
I do know that. Yeah.
He's also a kicker, though. Like,
exactly. Those are the people that get hurt the most because they don't know.
Okay. All right. No, I see that. All right. I see
don't
it.
expect him to put his head in there. We
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. He
Like
led
that.
with the head.
And so
You're right.
we're talking about pressure on the
That's the right.
And most times when you're leading with the head, you're aiming at a head too. So if you eliminate both, you're hurting yourself and someone else.
All right. You know what? Looking at that, upon further review, I can see where they got him. I can see it.
Can't dip it.
Yeah, that's true. I think if he was going to lower it, he should have lowered his shoulder the full 9 and thrown his shoulder into his solar plexus.
Leave your feet, but just with your shoulder.
I agree.
Anything else? Don't risk breaking
wrong.
your neck.
I was wrong. I was totally wrong. So, yep, that was the good call. Dude, that kicker, doesn't he look like he'd be in the WWE one day, though? Like he looks like he could be like a manager of the WWE. Make him Alexa Bliss's valet. Call him Pretty Boy Chuck or something. I don't know. I don't know the kid's name. But anyway, that's all we've got. We're way over time here on the Tanndemonium Sports Show. Join us every Wednesday, every Tuesday evening, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Tanndemonium Sports Show. He's Jackson Law, a.k.a. Jefferson Legal. Special thanks to Adam Krieger, Kriegs Korner himself, for joining us today. Only took 6 months and like an infinity amount of articles written, but he's finally here. I'm pretty sure that if I keep doing the Eric Cartman, you can't be on my show routine, people will be way more excited to be on the show. I'm Brian Tan. She's Courtney. Don't call the plumber. It's the Tanndemonium Sports Show. We'll be back next week. Stay tuned here on Twitch for Vendetta Survivor. See you next week.